understanding and then perhaps a final contract. But I want to, rather than confusing the legislature, I don't want to bring it up at this point. It will go somewhere. Ultimately, it may just go to Missoula. I mean, obviously, 9 miles is better than 75 miles, right? And tipping and all that kind of stuff. So if we can get it in there, that'll be a win for those guys and for us.
I'd make a motion on the first one if we're ready to yet.
Yeah, you want to make a motion on sludge?
I'll make a motion on the letter of support for sludge disposal project grant application.
I second it.
There's a question if these draft letters are posted online. Are they on there? No? All right.
It's all right, Sue. Hey, it's all right.
Trust me.
You know.
So what are you shaking your head?
Any more discussion on the motion? Any public discussion on the motion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Why should we bother?
Motion carries.
Thank you for that. Appreciate
Why
it.
should we bother?
Is there another motion for the,
I just got a couple questions before I make a motion on this next one. This is, you've been talking to Paul all too about working together and stuff on this, right?
Yes, Sam.
Okay, that's
Right.
right. This is that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'll make the motion on the Fred Burton's.
Now they're making another motion.
We have grant application.
I'll second it.
I think it's a good deal.
Yeah, we really appreciate that, and we're getting it. We're setting everything in motion now, and then the outlier, of course, is the Forest Service. They're on board, but it just takes longer to do everything. Is all, but we're inching forward toward it all. And I think the conversations between our public works director and your road guy have been pretty positive. So we'll speed ahead to the degree we're able to wading through the bureaucracy.
Yeah.
So
I wish you the best.
appreciate that.
any public comments on the motion?
Still involved.
Elena? Did she write something there?
I said something about
She
it.
just asked about the letters posted online. I just said they're generic letters of support and then just kind of took the letter.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries.
Am I unmuted?
What?
I hear you now.
Well, I raised my hand.
I don't see your hand. All I see is this old
I
building.
raised my
It's a weird
hand and
looking-
that's why I'm muted. Anyway, I just want to say that my mic is working now. And so if I have a comment, I appreciate you coming on and asking me. But if I have a comment, I'll just raise my hand.
Lane, I don't see that, so you either have to do it on Zoom chat or do it verbally. I can't see where you're doing the raise the hand.
There ain't nothing on mine.
Do you see the, just a question, do you see the chat view? If you go into the chat view, you'll be able to see things. Go down to the bottom.
I am in chat, but I'm not seeing it. So you either have to use Zoom chat or say it verbally.
Huh,
Thanks, Blaine.
gee, that's interesting.
Oh, any other comment, Elena?
No, I'm just saying that my mic apparently is working, so if I have a question, I'll just unmute myself and ask it. Thank you. How's that?
Sounds good.
Okay,
Sounds good.
thank you.
There is an option for that. It's just not.
Okay, we're gonna be off till 9:45.
There we go. We mute the phone. We mute everything again. Amazing. So let's go and mute. Oh. I should have music, elevator music in between, don't you think? I had to restart this up again. You know, I hate wasting time, but it's when they mute their mics in between. And then you watch the expressions and some of the motions that they do. It's just unbelievable. Like he gets up and he scratches his butt, he being Mr. Adler. And doesn't he realize? I mean, he makes faces at me, and I can tell. Even with the mics muted, he sees what's in the chat. He's got something to say. You can see he's talking about me. Just, this is a commissioner, okay? He has no respect for some people, none whatsoever. And you see, this has no, again, the public that are watching this remotely, how do we know that they're mute? I mean, not many people are experienced with Zoom remote viewing. But I will look up and see if they give you a small little class on how to conduct a meeting. Look at him rubbing his face. And then once, see, have you seen? Oh, now his hair, hands to his mouth. By the way, the administrator, Mike Cahill, who's been here up until the beginning of January, he passed away this weekend. And he'd sit in this room, have his mask on most of the time. He was an elderly man. Just interesting, isn't it? Interesting. Okay, it is almost 9:45. So we'll just leave this on. We've got 3 more minutes. You may be seeing something interesting happen here. Look at my hand. I'm raising my hand. What does it say here? Unmute my audio. That's interesting. See the bottom here. What does it say? Unmute, start video, which you have to have permission or whatever they do. I think that's my video. Anyway, there's 5 participants. Notice. Actually, the person who's taking the minutes should be doing this, actually. Why don't you rush it? Start the meeting so this way you can go to lunch like you did last week real early. What do you think? You really should. Okay, I think I've got the hang of this. I think I've got the hang. Oh, what I was saying is that they all, not once did you see them wash their hands, did you? Nope. Yeah, I think I'll try to get some music, and we'll have some music. Their hair is, excuse me, their hair is Sue Antonelli. She's the one that's taking over for Mr. Cahill. May he rest in peace. Oh, there goes, now the person, that there is the mayor who just walked in. You see, right there. Yeah, that's the mayor, Dan Reddish. He's the mayor. He probably forgot something, so he walked back in to get it. This exactly is what you're not supposed to be doing. Gives you an indication. This should be a what not to do video. You do not touch your face. You do not take the mask on and off. You do not pull it down. You take it away from your ear. You do not pull it down from the nose. He doesn't have to worry about it because he doesn't wear it. Well, does he? Oh, maybe I should send a message to Chuck. Let's try it. To Mr. iPad. Hey, Chuck. I saw.
Okay, we're back on now, and this is the time to discuss the legislative action that we proposed for pensions for the ambulance people to go into basically the same pension fund as the volunteer firemen. And this originated in this commission last fall. And so the bill is being drafted now. It's pretty much done, I think. But it still doesn't have a name and a number. And so I just wanted the other two commissioners to look at this, and you don't have really time to do it in 15 minutes, but maybe we could, you can look at it now, you have a copy of it. And
Do you want me to summarize it?
yeah, you can summarize it.
So, currently there's a volunteer firefighters pension, and the scope of who can be part of it is real limited, but there is a trust for it, and so this ambulance one would tie to that same trust, and it would allow for 911 funds to be used, to be put into that trust, and the pension would be for volunteer licensed EMTs and drivers, and so you're end of the day, if you're ambulance driver for 20 years, and you're going to get it's not going to be a huge pension, but it'll be reasonable.
So does it explain in here how it's vested?
So,
Well, I think, yeah.
yeah, it's in the fine details of the,
Yeah.
And it's a healthy fund right now, so it's doing well. One of the issues is it's kind of gone back and forth, is what percentage of 911 funds can be used. And I think they'll look at like 10% right now, but then maybe revisit it if it needs to be out.
Does this one say 10%? I'm trying to find it.
That version may not have been, because 20% have been discussed, so this version may say 20%.
Yeah, that was my suggestion, 20%, actually.
I just think with some sheriffs, they look at that when they have like Missoula County, where they got a huge amount, they are 20%. Yeah,
Yeah, but they don't have to do it.
yeah, correct.
So it would come from our county 911 that's allotted?
If you want to be part of the program.
Whatever was allotted for 911 for Granite County,
Get a percentage of that.
a percentage would go.
So whatever they originally put in the original draft, it can be amended so they can get the number, the percentage that works. The other one is there's the Good Samaritan statute that now says you can receive a stipend up to $3,000, and you still have the limited liability. We're gonna look, or it's 25% of your gross annual income, or $3,000, whichever is greater, could be given as a stipend, and still have limited liability for those folks. But looking to up that to $5,000. Either said this before. Either way, we have insurance coverage, but I like the idea of increasing that to $3,000.
Have you guys gave this to the ambulance crew so they can look at it, maybe give some support on it or give some ideas?
Nobody, I mentioned it to them, and nobody got back to me, so
Did you call Frank Prince? Maybe I'll get a copy, take you.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be
I
good.
mean, that way, 'cause I think the meeting's coming up, or
Yeah, because this will help both ends of the, potentially incentivize.
somebody maybe get one to Patrick up here, and then I'll take one to Drummond if you don't care, so.
Yeah, I don't care. I gotta talk to the hospital board tonight, so maybe we'll go ahead and do that, but maybe
Oh.
Patrick will get in on that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe take one with you, maybe he'll be there, and you hand it to him, and then at least he can look it over, and
It's online.
I'll get one to Frank, I'll get a copy of it and get it to Frank.
Yeah, so can we get a couple of copies of that?
You know, even if they say, well, we're not doing it for the pension, at least it's, for potentially for people that are, encourage them to take the course and stay with it, because the longer you stay in, the greater the pension will be.
You know, and then it's, you know, you start reading, there's a little more detail in it than just, you know, for the pension, so.
Yeah, there's
That's the
some,
way I,
there's some added benefits, there's some,
that's where I look at it.
some survivor benefits.
What's that?
I like it, I do.
Just thinking pension, but it's simpler to have it consistent throughout, the same benefit that
I think you
firefighters
wanna
get.
have everything in there that you can, just to cover your ass as you're doing it, you know, and that way we start taking some out, and the other ones might want, so I just leave it as a building it, and it looks good to me, I'm not perfect. so.
Yeah, this was a tremendous amount of work in this build drafter, Tony, I'm not sure how you pronounce her last name. Inman, or she's, yeah, very good.
Just my opinion.
Okay, the one thing I'd like to see more than $5,000 in a Good Samaritan thing, but I'll go with 5,000 if I have to. I guess I have to.
There was some talk back and forth with Representative Hinkle, Ted Hinkle, that, yeah, don't want to get too high there, may cause people to question it. But less 25% of gross annual income or 5,000, whichever is greater, so.
And that's on the total ambulance, all ins and that.
That's, so that's just a stipend. I mean, if they got their meal reimbursed, I don't consider that part of that stipend.
During public comment,
I got a question. So if counties are gonna be able to opt in to this, are they also gonna be able to, change the amount or the percentage of the 911 funds that they can allocate?
Would that
So
be
this-
up to how much they had, Scott? Is that what you mean?
Well, what I'm getting at is that you talk Missoula County, they've got a pretty substantial fund, I would imagine, because of that.
well, Missoula County wouldn't be in, I don't think they'd be here, because they're, you know, it's the fire department, they got it all taken care of.
Okay.
It's the rural counties like us, where you can't get volunteers and
How
So,
much,
yeah, Missoula has a private paid
Yeah.
service.
well, how much do you think a small county like ours can generate from this? Can you change the percentage of 911 funds that you choose to allocate?
I don't think you'd have to go through the
The
state.
one that wrote up.
Well, I think
So
that's
my
the
understanding
option.
was gonna be
See.
an up to percentage, but yeah, with that needs to be.
Wouldn't it come back on the basis of what they do?
Here's what they're talking about.
You know, what calls they making that? We'll kind of break it down.
Not as is, but I can see where if you had 5 participants versus 20 participants,
This is the bill.
that changed.
This they put up on notices.
So I think it has to be up to. but
This
that's-
is on notice.
So is that right that we get like $100,000 a year?
Oh, wow.
Probably got more.
It's
I don't know, I can ask Sarah.
I mean, so you could take 20% of that easy.
$15 pages.
You know,
Yeah,
and have a decent, thanks.
She's the
See what
one
I'm saying?
yeah,
who does the
yeah,
bill.
I can see what you're saying.
you
So
know,
that's why also I think it has to be an up to amount.
yeah, so they wouldn't have to,
Different.
yeah, you're right, yeah. Well, it's not gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be a start. And we gotta do something, the way I see it. I mean, we can't have a county like this and all these people moving in.
All
And,
these
you
people
know,
moving in.
A lot of them are older and
Oh, well.
accidents happen. And I forget how many, Georgetown, I talked to the guy up there, and they're having a lot of runs for Georgetown. I mean, I can't remember how many it was, but it was quite a few in the last month.
It come from Anaconda?
They just around Georgetown.
Or they got.
Our-
that quick
our
re-
ambulance?
they got
No,
that
it's their
quick-
ambulance.
Yeah.
They got a quick response team too.
So what I was gonna talk to the hospital board about and, you know, about getting that coordinator, if they could hire somebody, and I don't know if they ask about us chipping in some money or whatever, for a person to coordinate this thing. And to me, it seemed like, you know, so if somebody wasn't here, say a coordinator was here, and they knew nobody was covering for the weekend or whatever, we could have a mutual aid agreement with Georgetown,
Uh-huh.
that maybe they could take over the same thing for them. I
What
mean,
he's reading.
see what I'm saying? We'd have to have somebody to coordinate all this.
I think the ambulance folks are worried about having someone being their boss and telling them what to do, but if it's a coordinator, then, you know, and person is potentially going on.
Well, they have to realize
The
that,
worst thing about a coordinator, then they get that little bit authority, and next thing they're telling them, well, then it's gonna be starting the year on call.
Yeah, it'd have to be, the coordinator would have to be you, the commission would have to supervise the coordinator potentially, or have a.
no, I mean, yeah, they'd have to understand, I mean, like, these people are volunteers and you're not gonna tell them what to do, but you can coordinate it, say, to me, this coordinator would go, okay, how many people down there in Drummond are available for the next week or weekend or whatever? So they'd know that, and same thing here.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to, you know, I agree with what you're saying, but then it comes down to where these people all have other jobs. It's kind of hard to put yourself out on a pedestal saying that, well, I'll be around this week. And especially now, half of these people on the Drummond ambulance, they're starting to lamb and calve. So we're going to lose more. You know, that's the next.
Well, maybe then if we had this thing going, then they could know that. And then they could say, well, maybe we can cover for you. See what I'm saying? If we don't do something,
No, I know. I just don't know the fit.
There was a question on this draft House bill was posted with your packet online.
Yes.
And the question was, did I have something to do with amending it? I'm not the drafter, but given suggestions, to the Representative Jed Hinkle and the drafter.
And we've asked you to do it, help us out with it.
Yeah, I think I can act on my own with it, but yeah, you guys have directed me well.
I think you're doing good on it, Blaine. I guess it seems like every time we do a little more than that, we're always being questioned, you know? Give us a little credit.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea, and it goes back to the other commission here.
It's gonna take a while to fix and try to get fit, but damn it, don't always be judging. Quit judging us. So bad.
any other public comment?
Pissy.
I see somebody on there.
Is that Siles or Seals or, I don't know. something.
Hello. Would
Hi.
you like me to introduce myself?
Yeah,
Oh, I think she's on for the next one.
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to that one yet.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you.
Man, I don't mean to be so rude, not saying that stuff, but you know, damn it, we're trying to make this work. Give us a little break. We've asked Blaine to help. You got your kids working on it. I mean, Jesus. Back up a little bit.
I unmuted myself.
okay.
I don't see your hand.
What do you want to
Well,
say?
if you did, you wouldn't like what I had my hand showing. But the reason why I asked Mr. Adler, was that I know that Blaine made some suggestions and I think he did a good job. And I just wanted to verify it. I was not being critical. Okay? So stop jumping to conclusions. Thank you.
My opinion, thank you.
You've got other
Okay.
people watching how you conduct a meeting right now.
I'm gonna start shaking. Anyway, if there's no other comment, we're gonna leave this subject and go on to the next topic,
This is the way they handle.
which is the county shop in Philipsburg encroachment proposal.
She's on there now.
Yeah, so both, Joe Durgan and Julie Surs are on, Surs is on, Zoom.
Okay, so what do we have?
Yeah, I thought it might be helpful, since submitting that proposal last week, we've had some additional communications with our surveyor, Ken Jenkins, who expressed some concern about having this transaction in the form of an easement or a reversionary transfer, and suggested that we just do the outright boundary line adjustment, full transfer of the land to the county, but then in exchange for that, we would alter our initial proposal to have the county pay for the full costs of the survey work for that. And I don't have a definite amount of that amount from Ken Jenkins yet, but he's estimating now about $3,000 or so. So that's probably about what we'd be looking at, but I could certainly get a firmer figure from him. So that is a modification to what we submitted in writing by email previously.
What do you think, Blaine?
You know, I think that generally sounds good. One thing the commission was gonna do was have Hans Orenson look at that. I'm not sure if he has yet.
You know anything on it, Linda?
Well, I'm coming into it a little late, but like, where did the parcel come from? It just looks like a funky piece that sat out there with
I kind of have a little history.
no
with it.
description.
She's my sister, so I'm gonna stay out of it.
I mean, it just looks like a weird little parcel that sat out there with no description for a long time, and now they're gonna quiet title it to get it legally established.
I think if Sue, you have the history on it,
Yeah.
if you want, I don't think that's a.
Well,
Criticized.
it is a parcel, and it doesn't have much of a legal, but it talks about a strip going from Duffy Street down over, meeting the other street, I'm not sure which street it is. And this got left out of prior deeds after a relative of ours in the chain of title, Susan McDonald. So it's kind of a no man's land out there, it needs quiet title. And my research shows it should definitely have gone into my family. But they just left it out of their conveyance deeds as it went down. But it does talk about, on the map, you can see the strip from Duffy down to, I don't know what the other street is that but all of that land was owned by my family prior to, this point in time.
So now these people own this ground,
No, nobody owns it, it's a dead person.
Yeah, it's sitting out there. They have underlying rights to
They
it.
must be invisible.
There's an argument that the county
This is
would have
talking.
underlying rights
This
to
is
the piece
talking.
that they've been using as part of their shop, which is why they don't want you to contest the quiet title on it. But the question is, if this was like an office building, I don't know that I'd have any questions at all with it, but it's the shop. I mean, it's gonna have crud all over it. It can potentially have oil on it. It can have, are we gonna end up cleaning it before we have to give it back? Are they just gonna legally take it in the shape it's in, which could potentially require them to do DEQ cleanup? I mean,
well,
because it's the shop.
where they're gonna wanna deed it to us and that, and we pay for the survey and that, I don't township would be stupid not to.
Well,
Right, but they're saying we
I
have to
just
give it
wanna-
back at some point.
He used
No,
to-
and
Yeah.
I apologize, we
Yeah.
modified that just
Oh,
in my
okay.
comments today.
He's a commissioner.
Okay, so what, yeah, my opinion,
Yeah, if they're gonna leave it straight
yeah,
out.
in my opinion, we pay for the, whatever it takes to get it all figured out and transfer the deed and that. Be dumb not to.
Yeah.
All I would say is I have
I didn't
No
know that
disagreement.
in shop.
I have no disagreement with what they're proposing. I think just have enhanced warrants and look at it to confirm that and do a double check on it.
Well, would you wanna spend that extra money Blaine, on that, if they got a registered surveyor, right?
I think you should do a double check. I have no issues with it, but I think just so you're,
Okay,
just so you're.
when a survey is done, it's reviewed by Great West. So after Ken does the survey, then Great West interviews it as the examining land surveyor. Right?
I don't think
Yeah.
they do.
So what the question is are you saying that you want us to pay for the survey, just the survey, or do you want us to pay for to quiet title?
Well, we'll be paying my client will be paying the legal fees for the quiet title, but what we're asking the county to pay for are, basically the survey costs associated with the boundary line adjustment in order to transfer that portion of land outright to the county.
And that's like $3,000, you said?
That's the latest I heard from Ken. I could certainly get a more definite estimate from him if you would like, and we could provide that to you.
So then you're looking at the cost of a deed.
How much is that?
It just depends.
Well, the deed I could draft up, but
You still have to pay for it, unless it's a Granite County thing, and then you don't have to.
yeah, you're talking about.
It's
the
exempt.
photograph.
Is it exempt? The recording.
Yeah, should be exempt.
So most of the cost of the survey.
Yeah.
So I agree with Scott.
Yeah.
What about
If
this?
they're
Good
gonna
enough to do
give
it.
to you.
Hey Julie, what about this here on the third paragraph on this letter you sent to us? In exchange for the transfer of easement, the county would, one, agree to not object to the quiet title action Joe plans to bring related to this parcel of land. Two is where it says move the existing gate in order to allow Joe access to the land. Well, if we move that gate and that, then we gotta change our whole fence thing.
Well, it's my understanding, and shortly before this meeting, I sent you an email of a updated map from Ken Jenkins that shows more specifically what we're talking about with the gate, and it's only moving at about 30 to 40 feet, so it shouldn't, unduly interfere with what you have set up already. But you're right, that is an additional request, but hopefully it's a relatively minor one. Is what we see it
I
as.
didn't get the update she emailed. Oh, where's the map? That was up.
So then on the number 3, it says pay 1/2 of the cost. So is that 1,500 or is that 3,000?
Well, that's changed now because in the initial proposal, we requested that it either be in the form of an easement, which would terminate once the county no longer used it, or if it was a transfer, that it would revert back to Joe or her successors once that occurred. And in talking with Ken Jenkins, we just think that would probably be too complicated. And
this
some of
is
the
it,
comments
yeah.
at the start of this explained from the county's perspective why that might be complicated for you. So we've since changed to just this being an outright transfer to the county once the boundary line adjustment is completed, but then in exchange, because Joe's then giving that up permanently, to ask the county to pay the full costs of that rather than half.
So if this was transferred now, couldn't we put it as like 100 years or something?
There wouldn't be
They
any
would never
easement.
come back to you?
No, so you're not
There
doing
wouldn't
an
be-
easement, it's just gonna be conveyed to the county, so the county's out.
Correct.
That once
Forever.
it's ours, it's ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct, be
Well,
simple.
I'm just reading this word.
Yeah, this They changed their thing from this letter that we got to this, just doing an easement and deeding it to us, and we paid for the easement.
No,
Are we
not-
Pay for the survey.
I didn't mean easement, I meant, survey, sorry.
I think that's fair. I really do.
I don't think you could get
Where
it.
I think it is,
Yeah.
I wasn't,
Kinda
I was just
sitting on
asking
this side
questions here,
here.
cause I didn't.
Where the
I
clock,
don't wanna read
I don't
this.
know how it ever got on
She's
these
talking
plans, I
to
always
him.
thought that this is what her plan was all along, was
telling
to go
him, we
for
got another,
quite
you know,
now.
correcting that.
Yeah.
He didn't know.
I don't know where he's
Who
at.
got the who?
So is this
I
something
guess they
today
got
where we need to make a motion to go ahead with it?
I don't think we can. We'd have to put it on another day.
So you can, have it on next week.
By the way,
The only other issue would be if you wanna have a
this
double
one
check.
here, it's been
Your-
here.
Your
This is
thought
the
on that,
second
Linda?
term. So it's over
Yeah,
6
I mean,
years.
I hate spending a whole bunch
Oh,
of money. She's
let's make a
already done
motion.
it. I see what you're saying too, but I didn't mean. but-
no, I mean, it's never a bad idea to have things double
The
checked.
motion.
But like Blanche was saying, Hans is gonna have to look at this work as part of his examining land surveyor.
See, and he's not the examining land surveyor
Oh, he's
anymore.
not?
Great West is.
Oh, well then,
So
yeah,
it would go
I
to
think
Great
Blanche
West.
looked at it.
It would go to Great West to be reviewed.
Oh, I didn't realize Gary West was doing it.
When did
I
that-
thought
Yeah,
they
any
just did,
survey has to go to Great West, they review it and send it back and say it's okay.
When did that go through?
It's been all the time.
I've never seen Great West do anything.
I thought
Yeah,
Hans did all
Every
of it.
time, every
I'm just
survey,
saying, I've never seen
why,
it.
you're the one jumping on me.
This is what happens when one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing.
well, I thought Great West just did dam
No,
stuff.
they review surveys.
Look at
Any
this.
survey that comes of record in the clerk and recorder's office, the surveyor submits a paper copy, it's reviewed by Great West. And then they say all the lines and dots are crossed and Ts, and then it comes back and is put
All right,
correct.
good. So Sarah said if it's hand survey, then Great West looks at it, but if it's anyone else's, then it's.
Then Hans looks at it,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
That's why I'm saying I never seen that with Great West ever do.
You can't
That's all
really
I'm
do
So
saying.
he
I
does
wasn't
Hans's.
blaming you for
All
that.
right, sorry.
I'm just saying that I've never seen Great West involved in it.
Look at that. I've never seen it, so
Okay.
it doesn't exist.
So for this discussion, can we, put this on the agenda for 2 weeks? Get a hold of Hans and he can go up there and look at it, and then we can make a decision in 2 weeks. And
That works for you, Julie? Joe?
Yes, I believe it would work for us, and I will send you something in writing so that you have the updated proposal, and I'll also contact Ken to see if I can get a firmer estimate about the
Better,
costs from him, so you know what you're looking at.
better.
And I noticed at one point it looked like Joe wanted to say something, so I don't know if, Joe, you still have a comment, and it looks to me like you're on mute, but maybe not.
Who?
Back.
How's that? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning. I just wanted to clear up the entrance part as why we were asking for that was mainly for access, to be able to get to the property easier than, building a road down below that corner gate. So it would just be for easy access.
Moving the fence.
Moving that gate thing you're talking about?
The gate thing.
Yes. Absolutely.
so you still want to move the gate?
But
Yes.
yet you're gonna build access down below to get to it.
They should have known
That
about
is in the
this days before the meeting and had their
She's on.
questions
Is
written
it
down.
moving on there?
I don't see it.
I don't know what happened.
I still see it on there.
There she is.
Yeah, we still see you, Joe, but I think maybe some of your comments got cut off. But to clarify what you're saying, yes, we request still that the gate be moved to allow for access, and we think that